proceed without his video.
We are on the record, Judge.
Again, D639564, Johnson versus Isaacs. I have both parties present. This is a continued hearing. Let me explain to the parties that the last proceeding you were at was being covered by a senior judge, Judge Brown. This is my court. This will be my case in the long run. I reviewed what was prepared prior to the last hearing, and I've reviewed the documents that were submitted by the parties following the last hearing. Here's how I see the case. You all were living in Nevada, and I don't think any of this is disputed. You all were living in Nevada and planned to relocate from the state of Nevada to Washington State. In the midst of moving to Washington State, there's an incident of domestic violence, and Dad is arrested in Oregon. Is that right, Mr. Johnson?
Yes, Your Honor.
How long were you incarcerated in Oregon?
4 hours, 5 hours.
And from there, you went where?
From there, I did not have my vehicle at the time because the officers allowed Mrs. to take my vehicle with the children, so I had to call a friend to pick me up from where I was arrested back in California. My car back.
Okay. So you returned to Nevada at the conclusion of your criminal case, or once you were released from custody. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. The court will note the police report that was made as a result of your arrest reflects that you no longer, none of the parties, reside in Nevada. The arrest report reflects the parties were homeless. There was a Lithonia, Georgia address given for Dad, and Mom gave her Sacramento, California address where she currently resides. The car that you're referring to was still registered in the state of Nevada, correct?
It was still currently registered in...
It was in Georgia. I'm sorry, I think I misspoke. I said Nevada, but the car was registered in Georgia at that time.
Yes.
Okay. And so following the last hearing, Ms. Isaacs, what has happened? Are the children now with Mr. Johnson?
Yes. The day after the last hearing, he had drove down to pick them up, and he picked them up, and they have been with him since.
Have you had the ability to talk to them and see them FaceTime, something like that?
At a bare minimum. We've talked for a few minutes every day, but I did provide them with a device so that I could contact them at will, and they could contact me further. And within a few hours, that device was no longer in their possession. So I've been trying to go through Mr. Johnson. I've called him, and sometimes he'll answer, sometimes he doesn't. At times I'll talk to my children, and within a minute or two, they'll say we have to leave, or we have to go, or they'll call me back, and it doesn't occur. So yes, I have talked to them, but at a bare minimum.
So I do not see this as a case where Mom absconded to the state of California with these children, intended to hide the children from Dad. In fact, I'm a little frustrated because I think you, Mr. Johnson, are taking advantage of a situation that no one intended. By all accounts, you all were leaving the state of Nevada. You withdrew your children from school in the state of Nevada, intending for them to be enrolled in another state. If your argument to the court is that you, Mr. Johnson, never intended to relocate from the state of Nevada, you need to make that clear to me and give me your argument why.
You know, Miss Isaacs, again, Your Honor, took our children without my permission to the state of California. And we did agree to go to Yakima, Washington, yes. But she took the children at the middle of the night with her mom and her sister without my permission all the way to Sacramento, California. And so that's why I returned back to the state of Nevada.
Hey, I'm on the phone.
What arrangements did you have set up for yourself up in Yakima? Did you already have work? Did you already have a residence?
We were staying with a friend in Yakima, Washington, so we could find a resident.
So you had that arranged already?
Yes.
And did you actually go up there and stay with your friend?
Yes.
Okay, from when to when?
It was from, I believe, October 1st to maybe October 13th. So she actually ran off and took our children.
Okay. So what my findings are is that this court does not have what we call subject matter jurisdiction over the custody issues in your case. The rules, even though I'm going to be referring to Nevada law in making this decision, the rules are universal, for lack of a better description. In other words, every state has the same laws when it comes to deciding whether a particular state is the right place to make decisions regarding custody. That rule, those rules, Mr. Johnson, state that when nobody lives in the state of Nevada anymore, which means everybody intended to leave the state of Nevada and did, in fact, leave the state of Nevada, Nevada does not have jurisdiction over the case anymore. And again, jurisdiction is a way of saying authority. So if I don't have jurisdiction, I don't have authority. You lost home state jurisdiction when you all moved to Yakima, Washington. The fact that it didn't work out the way you intended or planned doesn't change that fact. You all still moved from the state of Nevada to Washington and had a different parting of the ways in the process of doing that. But under our laws and the laws of every state, everybody left. No parent resided in the state of Nevada any longer. The children were no longer in the state of Nevada. The fact that it was only for 2 weeks is not relevant. What's important is what your intention was. And by your own statement, your intention was to leave and to relocate. And you were in the process of finding housing, staying temporarily with a friend, which is consistent with what you said to the officers in Oregon when you were arrested. So what I'm telling you is that I am not going to maintain your case. The case is appropriately filed in the state of California, where the children have resided for more than the last 6 months. And so California is the state that has authority over this case. And Ms. Isaacs, you need to file something in the state of California.
Your Honor,
Okay.
I have permission to speak.
One moment. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry, Mr.
Your Honor, when I filed, Nevada has jurisdiction over our family.
That is not true. I'm telling you why that's not true.
This was the last place that our children were resided.
Okay, but I lost that jurisdiction. When you move from the state of Nevada with the intention of relocating, which is what the two of you did, Nevada lost jurisdiction over the case. So we start from square one with the 6 months, and they weren't here for 6 months. They have been residing in the state of California long enough to make California their home state, and that's where this action needs to be filed. Miss Isaacs can file it there. You can file it there as well, Mr. Johnson. It's my understanding you all lived in Sacramento at one time all together.
Yes.
Okay. So the unfortunate thing, in this court's opinion, is because I do not have authority over the case, I also do not have authority to order that Mr. Johnson return the children to you, Miss Isaacs. If I had authority over the case, that's what I would be ordering today. That the children remain with him until the start of school in California, and then they be returned to you in the state of California so they can start school there. That's what is appropriate in this court's opinion, given all the additional information now that has been filed following the last hearing. So I am going to dismiss the case or close this case and direct Ms. Isaacs or Mr. Johnson that you initiate a case in the state of California, the children's current home state.
Okay.
Okay? Any questions about that, Mr. Johnson?
Oh, Your Honor.
Okay, so the court will prepare the order that reflects what I just said, and the case thereafter will be closed. You'll both receive a copy of the order that I prepare that explains why the case is closing.
Okay.
All right, thank you both.
Thank you.